it going, everyone? Welcome to the Friday, April the 11th speaker co-working. You started recording already? I know.
I
Oh, okay.
have.
Well,
Mhm.
welcome to the Friday, April 11th version of Speaker Co-working. I am Ron Story with Speaker Hub. I am the head of membership. It's funny because most people don't know that. So they hop on a call with me and they talk to me like I'm some customer service dude. They're always surprised on the other side when I tell them no, you can't join us. So it's amazing the amount of disrespect people have on these calls. But good to see everybody. Let me change my attitude a little bit. Good to see everybody. Good to see y'all here. It's a positive day. Glad to be alive. Excited that we are more than 1/4 of the way into 2025. It's good to see you, Adoranke. Hopefully, I said your name properly. I use Okay. All right. Well, we'll let you introduce yourself so that you can teach us how to say your name properly and show you the well-deserving respect that you have coming to you. Good to see everybody, man. This is exciting. So we usually start off by letting everyone who's new introduce themselves. And Larry's been here before. Jadika has definitely been here before. Looks like the only newcomer so far is Miss A. I'm gonna say that until she tells me how to say her name, and then we'll go from there. So. Uh, Miss A, how do we call you?
Hi, good day, everybody. My name's Adoranka. I live in Bermuda, and I am a founder for my company, AB Wilson Consulting, and I provide services to organizations that are going through change, usually through workshops and hands-on guidance for managers. And I'm also a photographer.
Okay. Incredible, incredible. And how did you find out about Speaker Hub?
Okay, and then I'm also a podcaster. And one of the ladies that I interviewed this week told me about it. And because I was, after we had done the interview, we were just sharing, and I indicated to her that I was interested in broadening my horizon in terms of being a speaker and hosting international workshops. And she told me about Speaker Hub.
Perfect. Well, hey, you're always welcome here. Welcome to Speaker Hub. I'm Ron.
Thank
I'm actually the chief bottle washer, and over in the corner, she is the head of operations. We run a team of about 42 people that make this thing go. And yeah, so these are some of our clients. Some of them come in every day. Some come in every once in a while. But you don't have to be a client to be on this call. We love to help anybody who's putting a positive message out into the atmosphere to amplify that message with or without Speaker Hub. So we know how to do it both ways. I used to do it before I owned Speaker Hub, and I booked thousands of meetings without using any type of software. So I can help you whether you want to use our tools or use your own. Our job is just to help you. Is that fair? Cool. Any wins so far? Any wins? Larry, good to see you again. Any
To
wins
be
that
here.
we've had
Thanks.
so far?
Thanks for letting me back in.
Dude, you're welcome every day. There's no, we
Yeah.
didn't sell tickets, man. There was no ticket needed. You didn't have to win a raffle to show up here, so that's good.
No, no. I think my wins, I mentioned them on the last call. It was a good month. I was in Massachusetts last week for a Healthcare Leadership Association conference. And the week before that, I was in Orlando for a national pet care conference. So, I just keep putting things at the top of the funnel and it's going to come out at the bottom.
Man, that's incredible. Also, let me say something really cool. So I was talking with Yvette earlier this week, and she says, I always be feeling bad that I ain't a lifetime member, so I need to get that taken care of. So high five to Yvette. Welcome to she bought her lifetime membership this week, which was super duper exciting. She was like, I've been getting tired of you calling everybody name but mine. I said, I like that. That is pretty cool. But so Yvette, we got one small issue. You have two accounts with us, and I don't know which one to do the upgrade to. So before we get off the call, if you could just send the email address you want to use for the upgrade to Angela, because I didn't want to upgrade both accounts. I didn't know which one to set up for you. So, but yeah, high five to Yvette. Welcome to the dark side. It's good to see you. Also, Nicole Shelton, she got her lifetime account this week too. So that's always cool. Um, yeah, man, we making progress over here. We building an army, right? So, any other wins? Anybody else got any bookings? Any success with their surveys? I know yesterday AJ had a highlight where he got 60 referrals from his survey process so far, which is freaking insane. I don't know how many more meetings. He's probably up higher than that now. Knowing AJ, AJ is a salesperson first, a speaker third. So it's like salesperson first. So see, I need help connecting. Okay, we'll figure that out. Um, yeah, so AJ, any updates? Anybody else did any surveys? Nobody wants this Ruth Chris gift card we about to give y'all on Monday. Most people, I don't think they want it. You know, Jasmine, go ahead, and then Michelle.
No, I just had a paid workshop yesterday for Idea Mississauga. So
How do I reach my hand through here and high five you?
there you
That's it.
go.
We
There
don't
you
believe
go.
in free speech. We believe every time you open your mouth, you should be getting paid. So high five for that one. You know, Michelle, what's your win? What you got a question about something?
No, it's a win. We so like I said before, the emails are starting to roll in big time. We're on our fourth, fifth go around of the follow-ups, and we're starting to get a lot of responses back to where I think I have 20 responses that I need to go through, and about 5 of them I know want to book. So we're getting busy.
How cool is that, right? So here's why this is so important, right? A lot of times the process works. Sometimes there's a bottleneck or a problem, and we're willing to help you to figure out what that problem was, right? And what we say is, hey, lean on our expertise of doing this over the last 7 years. One of the issues we ran into with Bart is that Bart switched his email account in the middle of March. And when he switched it to a new account that hadn't been on Google for a while. But you know, Bart sends 600 pictures a month. So Google flagged him, right? And we've been negotiating with Google to get his account back. But if you have an email account, you can't, you got to wait 30 days before you use it. Does that make sense? So if you set up a free Google, don't hop in and send 1,000 emails the first week. They're gonna think you misusing the service. Does that make sense? But if you're using your own emails, you have no issues. But if you're going to set up a free Google account, make sure it's at least 30 days old. If you don't believe me, everybody who does cold outreach this all the time. How long should you warm up an email account for cold outreach? Right? So it's going to tell you minimum 2 to 4 weeks, right? This is just standard industry practice, right? Bart waited 4 to 5 hours, but he didn't know. He didn't know. He didn't tell me, so I couldn't coach him on it, right? So again, this is, if it's a new email address, we need to wait at least a month before you start doing heavy outreach. Just as a warning, you can start doing some small stuff, but following up 8 times and all of that, you don't want to do that on a new account. Google don't like that. Make sense? Any other wins or questions? But because I got some exciting stuff I wanna talk about today that I think is pretty cool. Bonnie?
I just had a quick question. I signed up
Oh, yeah,
this
go ahead.
morning. When I look at my profile page in the corner, it says private. Does that mean the world can't see it yet?
Yeah, you have to, once you get over 50%, we'll approve it so that it can be public.
Okay.
Right. Yep. So what happens is that a lot of people hop on our site and they'll try to advertise their tire shop or their dental program. So we manually go through and approve everybody on SpeakerHub. So we've added 12,000 new members since we took over in June, and every one of them have been manually approved by us if they haven't met with me personally. So we're very serious about making sure that we're promoting the right people with the right messages. Does that make sense? And that's better for you guys because if you went to Harvard, you would tell everybody you went to Harvard, right? You wouldn't hide that. You wouldn't be like, I graduated from the University of Phoenix. There's nothing wrong with University of Phoenix, but let's say you graduated from the University of Phoenix that wasn't the one in the US, but it was one that was in like a diploma mill. You wouldn't be that proud of that. But if you went to Harvard, Yale, Stanford, I went to Harvard. Well, you at Speaker Hub, you should be just as proud. I mean, you're at the Harvard of speaking. So, we want to make sure that we're keeping it exclusive. We don't want some goofy car wash popping up next to your name when they search for Midas. They think they're looking for Larry Midas and they find Midas mufflers. We don't want that to come up. So, Bonnie, what's going on?
Good morning. Thanks. Regarding surveys, thank you for schooling me and us on waiting for the referrals at the end and not sending.
Oh, wait a minute. What you about to say? What happened?
Because now, I spent some time this morning sending emails to people who said they would give me referrals and have to chase them. And I'm sure I'll get them, but that's a pain in the butt. And I totally get why it's not a good idea. So waiting at the end and getting them to give them some quiet space while they figure it out instead of jumping in and saying, oh, you can send them to me, or I can call you, or whatever. So that was really helpful. And before you go, or sometime here, could you go back for a second into where the speaker one sheet is created? I couldn't find it. I want to get it done today. I have that thing open. Can you go over that real quickly?
Speaker one sheet.
Am I confused?
Speaker
I
Hub,
thought,
you already have your speaker profile.
yeah, I thought there was a place we were creating a one sheet that goes in the profile. Is that something different, or am I
No, I
confused?
mean, we gave out a link to some templates that you could
Yeah.
use to create your own. I can give you the link to those templates if you want to create your own one sheet.
And then we park it in our profile?
Yeah, you can just put a link to it, but in reality, your profile is the one sheet.
Right,
Right?
okay.
What would be
I
on the
understand.
profile that's not on the one
Yeah,
sheet?
that makes sense.
Right.
Okay,
And
great.
then when
Yeah.
you see here, I'll show you all. When you see the new profile, like you're gonna have to send somebody a book to compete with the new profile. You're gonna have to send a media kit to compete with this because it has live video at the top. So your new profile, I mean, your one sheet doesn't have video on it, right? We can show what you're available for, all of your, topics that you cover, what you're expert in, what your fees are, where you're willing to travel to, logos of past clients is. I mean, clients is not a word. Achievements are over here. If you have a paid profile, we don't show your competitors. So Bonnie, none of your competitors will be there. But for people who have a paid profile, we're definitely going to show your competitors because we want to make sure that the event planner can find the perfect person for them. But you'll be able to put your videos and your photos of your signature talks, sell your courses and trainings with the paid profile. You will be able to sell your courses, get testimonials, and sell your books. So we get, I don't know, 15,000 people that visit our page every day. So there's a special section where they'll be able to search through the courses to see who offers trainings. So for the first 3 or 4 months, the ability to upload a course will only be available for lifetime members on Speaker Hub Pro because they're usually the ones that are going to give us the right feedback and they're very coachable. So we want to work with the lifetime members to let them promote their courses and things first to help us kind of fish out the bugs. And then we'll open it up to other people who want to provide their courses and services on the platform. One of
But
the other things.
wait a minute. I'm sorry. This is Chantel. You know how Speaker Hub, how there's two parts. There's the front end and the back end.
Yep.
On the front end, if you go to view, if you go to what is it, edit profile on the left hand side, if you scroll down, it says one sheet generator. And Bonnie, you can generate your one sheet right there.
I
Okay,
don't know if
that's
that
what,
I don't know if that works anymore. We're moving
Oh,
off of
okay.
that. Yeah. So what that used to do is you would click on that, and then we had a one sheet generator by the name of Raquel that would actually make it for you in the background.
Mm.
And we said, this is stupid. We're gonna stop this. So when Raquel went kind of contract, she's no longer full-time with us. When she went contract, we said we just gonna stop doing it. Why? Because the profile already is good enough, right? The speaker profile is already strong enough. So you can try that thing. If it works, high five. If it don't, we told you it don't work. Like,
Okay.
yeah, because it was such a labor intensive thing. And, you know, people would sign up for,
It used to be, Ron, the on Speaker Hub many years ago. I still have a copy. They had like a template
yeah,
that was on the website. Is it possible to make it so that maybe it automatically generates like just a really generic for
yeah, we
people
have
who
the
need a
template.
paper copy?
Yeah, we can send you the template. We have several templates that, but the person still has to go in and edit them themselves. Raquel would actually go and do that for you. And we're like, dude, come on, man. Like for $149 a year, we can't be making these templates and providing the service. So we just got rid of it, right? But it's
I
not even
still,
really.
I still have it. I still have the template. It was like 3 or 4 of them,
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah.
it's
I'll
set
share the
up
link.
kind of
I'll
like a
put the link
Google
in the chat.
Doc.
I remember that too.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I'll put the link in the chat. We got you. We'll give you the link. We're just not gonna make it for you anymore. That's all we're
okay,
saying. We'll give you the
okay.
tools. We're not gonna build a house. Got it?
Yeah, that's great. Well, at least I know I'm not completely crazy. I knew this was somewhere before and there was discussion about this and I didn't pick up on it and do it. So, but Chantal, you're saying that on the front page of your profile, it's still there somewhere. And thanks for the
Chantal
No,
link.
was
well,
talking
it
about the
was,
button.
but like Ron, he just updated us that no longer,
Totally gone.
yeah.
I got you,
Okay.
Bonnie. We'll send you the email with it. You'll be fine.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. And I'm really looking forward, Ron, to that upgrade when we have the really cool way you've got the whole page. Now I get it. All I need to do is send a link to that. I don't need to do anything else later on. Thank you.
Yep. So here, let me give you the link here for everybody. It's in the chat. If you don't have your Speaker Hub profile set up, even if you're watching this, go get one for free. Set up a meeting. We'll give you one. We'll give you a profile for free. As you can see, currently there are 82 event planners that are searching through the profiles right now, actively looking for speakers. So if you don't have a speaker page, definitely set one up. I just put the one sheet thing. This is the template is down here at the bottom. Click on this link, make a copy. You can edit it to look like this. This is the one that we've used before. And then I'll share another one that has 5 other designs that we had made. Cool? All
Oh,
right.
awesome. Thank you so
No,
much.
this is cool. This is what we do. Any questions before I get into my topic for the day?
You know, Ron, I just had a quick question. I built my profile this morning.
Yep.
And my articles are in there. My book is in there. Did I not see a place or is not a place to list the podcasts that I've been a guest on?
Yeah, that's not in there in the current version. In the new one, that will be there.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Nope, you're all good. Yeah, in the new one, that will be in there. In the current version, no. We're moving off of that system in the next couple of weeks to our newer upgraded system, which is super duper duper incredible. I can't wait until we're able to go live on that. So here, let me share the other 5 versions of that. If you don't want an orange profile that looks like Speaker Hub, you can use one of these. We give you a green one, a blue one, different designs, right? But none of them are going to look better than your actual Speaker Hub profile. All you're going to do is risk putting yourself in spam sending people this as a PDF. I'm just telling you. I've mastered email. Don't be sending attachments. Somebody send me an attachment, I just have Google automatically just spam it. Because there's ways to send files nowadays without it being an attachment. Does that make sense? But if it's my legal team or my attorney or my accountant, they got to send me files and attachments, but I already got a relationship with them. But a stranger sending me an attachment, yeah, okay. All right, yeah, you can forget about it, right? Any other questions or comments before we get started? Go ahead, Ange.
I want to mention one thing before we get started. Maria, Juliana, our team, Raymar, they all worked really hard on creating this new place for you all if you want to guest post. So if you're a lifetime member, there's no charge for guest posting, but we actually created a landing page now. So thank you, AJ, for helping us realize that we needed a better system. So we revised the system.
Can I show it?
Yep, I sure will.
So what she's
So
going to show is basically we have one of the most visited blogs on speaking in the world, and we talk about you needing to do one-on-one podcasts, associations, press, and conferences. Well, how do you prove to Business Insider that you are a good writer? Or how do you practice writing? You need some exposure in writing examples. So we've opened up our blog for our speakers to be able to start expressing their thought leadership using writing on our platform. Does that make sense? For those who are not Speaker Hub members, they usually pay us for the traffic that we send to them from posting articles, right? So if you're a Speaker Hub member, a paid member on Speaker Hub, you can post articles for free. If you're not a member and you're looking to promote something else, you can pay us. We cool with that. We'll let you put an ad on there. Does that make sense?
Yes. So
So
here's the
if
site. So here's the site. If you want to submit an article, we have a form down here. Here are the guidelines. I know some of you are thinking, how can you get published? Helpful articles for speakers or organizers, unpublished original content. So don't pull it from somewhere else and bring it over here. Make it different. The tone to be professional and friendly. For global audiences, written in English, not too heavy on promotional content. So it's not a sales article. You're really like giving information that's going to be helpful, and avoid covering repeated things if there's not something unique or different. We give some examples of articles here, and here's the cost. As Ron mentioned, free for our lifetime members, and there's a cost for non-lifetime members. And then here's some Q&A. So I just put that in the chat. If you have questions, let us know, but please visit the site first and let us know if you have questions once you've visited the site.
That's pretty cool. And here's the cool thing about this is that we review everything. So don't think we just gonna put it up there. We looking at everything to make sure that it's helpful. And we'll coach you on what makes it better. Again, we've gotten our clients published in Business Insider, Success Magazine, Forbes, Wall Street Journal, CNET. I don't know. It's like 100 and some different publications we put clients in by teaching them the right things to do. Does that make sense? So if you're a lifetime member, you want to join our group that is exclusively about writing and publishing, give your pass your name over to Ange and we'll add you to the Facebook group where all we talk about is writing and publishing, right? So Nicole, Yvette, if you want to join, that's where all we cover is how do you get paid to write, not just get covered in the story. We want you getting paid to write. Now, I'll show you one of our clients that's I think was pretty cool. She wrote, I have a Tesla. She wrote this article about having a Tesla and getting flipped off on the side of the road all the time, right? And let's see, her name is Angela Kozlowski, right? So she wrote this article on Business Insider, right? And ended up on CNN being interviewed about it, right? But we helped her with the writing. She ended up on CNN, you know, that's her on CNN about that article. If it wasn't for that article, she is not on CNN. If it wasn't for PR pitches and what we teach in that class, she is not writing that article, right? So again, unlike everyone else, we show proof. We're not a group that's going to just tell you something. If I talk about it, I did it. Does that make sense? If we talk about it, it's because we did it. It's not because we just said, all you got to do is, no. My mama used to say, if you say that, you and your friends say that, you go into jail. So we don't do that. All you got to do is, we show you what you got to do. And usually it's hard work. But these are all the articles we got published this week. Well, the last week of March. All of these different writers, they're our clients. They got published in all of these different publications in March, right? So
Everyone,
again, yep. Any other questions, comments?
Here's the process. I'm going to drop the link to the Facebook group. You're going to ask to be a member. It is a closed group. Kamanzi's going to text me and say, are these your people? I'm going to say yes. And so I need your email address, and of course I have your name, and then I'll verify that, and it gets you on Kamanzi's email list as well, because he sends email updates also. So you have to ask to be a member of the group.
Yeah, we do live trainings every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for writers. We bring in editors from every magazine that's out there in order to come in to talk to you about how to get that editing. Here's something that we haven't announced, but we've already agreed to do. Starting in June, all lifetime members of Speaker Hub will also have access to our corporate consulting. We don't offer corporate directly inside of Speaker Hub right now because if you're not getting on podcasts, you ain't getting a consulting gig. If you're not doing the other gigs, they ain't bringing you in to do the consulting. They need proof of your work. So we've hesitated on bringing this in because of the stigma of a lot of people out there promising people corporate gigs that have never done any type of speaking or thought leadership. They pay for it, they don't get results, and they complain. We didn't want to be that type of group. Does that make sense? So I'm very strategic in how I introduce things, and it's on a approval basis by us. Why? Because it's our reputation. Make sense? So if you're one of our lifetime members, if you're interested in doing corporate, we will let you into the corporate mastermind training. You still have to pitch yourself. We will give you the leads to upload in the Speaker Hub to pitch yourself for corporate. This training is a training that we charge $2,400 a month for, right? And you will have access to it for free to attend for free in June. Okay. All right. That's the value of Speaker Hub. We're about getting more positive messages out there, but only for those who are doing the work. If we don't need more information. We need more courage. Got it? Any, Jasmine?
I just wanted to quickly ask, so I have articles that I can upload because I work with Commands as well. I'm getting some, writing samples. Can I have some put on Speaker Hub right now? Would I be able to?
If you use the link that Angela gave you. Now, here's the thing. Whatever you use on Speaker Hub, you can't use in Success Magazine. Once it's on one platform, I'm not for you, Jasmine, just for everybody that's out there. You can't submit an article to us and to them, the same article. That's called duplicate content. Does that make sense? So you can submit one version to us and then write another one, something else. But don't say, okay, I'm gonna put it over here, and then, hey, y'all like that? I can take it over here and give it to y'all. They're not going for that.
No. It is just to show that you have writing samples, see how
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
write
Okay.
elsewhere.
Yeah. Jasmine, you've been in there, so you know what we're talking about. But there's people on YouTube that's gonna watch this and then try to do something dumb, and we're gonna kick them off forever, right? Like we got to protect our stuff. The best way I can serve you guys is by protecting ourselves. The best way you all can be great to the community is by protecting yourself. And if everybody knows that everybody's doing what's in their best interest, then there's no miscommunication. The best thing I can do as the leader of Speaker Hub is to keep myself in great condition mentally, keep reading, better myself in order to help you. Does that make sense? The better I get, the better I can give to you. But if I always give to you and I ain't better than myself, it's going to be a lose for me at some point. We call that a value exchange, right? So the exchange of value has to start when you're on the airplane. What they say? Put the mask on your face first, stupid. Don't help your kid. They'll be all right. But if you die, y'all both gonna be dead. Put the mask on your face. So I'm putting the mask on our face first. Right? And then we put it on our customer's face. That's the attitude we got to go forth with our customers and with that you should have. Does that make sense? Is that fair? Where's our self-carepreneur? She would preach that if she was on here. She ain't on here today. She missing. Dr. Sharon. I keep calling her Dr. Sharon because she's a licensed psychologist, but I don't think she has the PhD. So let me stop being rude. Ataranka. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
I have a lot of blog posts on my website. Will that be acceptable if I submitted something like that? I mean, I could always, if you accept it, I can always take it off my website. But how
Google
does,
is already, the problem is that Google has already indexed your website
okay,
and knows that it would be duplicate content, so it would penalize us. So what we want fresh bread.
okay.
We don't want the bread that's already been sitting out. We want fresh bread.
And I have another question. Thank you. Where do I get information on membership fees?
Yep, we'll walk you through that. I got you. You're in the right place. You are in the right place. When you see what we do, you're gonna be like, "Look, this is home." But that's a good question. I got you. We'll walk you through all of that.
And I
Anything else?
wanted to get to go to Bermuda where she's. I've always wanted to go there.
On behalf of the people of Bermuda, everybody is welcome.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I thought she was about to put up a tariff. On
Yeah.
behalf of the people of Bermuda, America's got to pay 40%.
And we can write that off as a business expense.
There it is, right? No, that would be great. Bermuda, I ain't never been to Bermuda. All I hear about is the Bermuda Triangle. So I was scared.
Bermuda is 19 minutes flight from New York.
I'm from
19?
Canada. I want to get
19.
that pink sand.
So it's 2.5 hours from Toronto.
Okay, I live in
Where's your
Colombia. How far
LinkedIn?
is it? It's close to Colombia then, right?
It's close to North Carolina. We're in mid-Atlantic. We're not in the Caribbean. See, and so we're the closest landmass is North Carolina.
All right, cool. We'll come visit you. We may
Okay.
have to do an event out in Bermuda.
Oh,
You know?
please do.
That would be incredible,
That would be awesome. That would be really good.
Yeah, can you imagine Speaker Hub Bermuda? Come back to Bermuda. No, I think it used to be Jamaica, the old commercial. But no, that's great. Yeah, any questions before I get into it? We are 34 minutes into the day. Any other questions about Speaker Hub? Right? All right. So I want to kind of walk through this really quickly because we're making some cool updates. And actually, I'll get you all's feedback because our focus is on not just speakers who want to get paid up front, but speakers who want to use speaking as a way to build a business, right? And that's what we know the majority of the revenue comes from. It comes from using it as a microphone more than the main business. Does that make sense? So I thought about making this our new homepage. Hey, don't get paid to speak, speak to get paid, right? But my team ain't voted on it yet, so this is just a preview. They probably gonna vote this down because it's a bit aggressive, but that's how I really feel. So got to take my personality out of the marketing a little bit. But this is how we do it at Aranka. We use something called the speaker flywheel. So when you hear our Bonnie asking about the speaker page, this is where our inbound leads are generated, where speakers create a profile like this. And membership here is you can create a free page or you can upgrade your page, and it's $349 a year for membership to Speaker Hub. Based on what you want to do, some people just want to be in our directory. So we have 64,000 speakers that are in this directory. Right now, there are 84 people logged in looking for speakers on the site, right? So you see that 84 event planners are searching through these 64,000 speakers right now. It costs nothing to create a profile. If you want to make your profile fancy, sell books and do all of that stuff, then that's what we charge. $349 a year, less than $1 a day, right? So one speaking gig should pay for it, right? So we call those inbound leads. On the other side, where we're talking about lifetime members and things of that sort, those are our speakers that are doing outbound, where they're reaching out manually to the gigs that they want. And they're using something called Speaker Hub Pro. Some people say Pro is for proactive, which is pretty accurate, but this is our proactive system where a person comes in, you put in your business name, you put in your location. I am in Medellin, Colombia. You put in what you do. I help entrepreneurs to grow. Let's do that. Grow their businesses. I've updated this by, someone's coming in. Let's see. Using speaking, podcast, interviews, and press coverage so that they don't have to dance on TikTok. Right? So we basically put in this basic information about ourselves, and our system will go out and write a bio for us, right? So when I ran the agency for the past 6 years, I used to have to go and do this on my own. Every client, go look at their bio, go look at their LinkedIn, and try to put together a bio. Now, in about 10 seconds, this is going to generate the bio for me. So you'll see this Dr. Rhonda Lawson thing will change to Ron Story in about 3 seconds here. Right? So there it is. So that's my bio. Now, the cool thing about it is that in the background, the AI is matching me with the right podcast and speaking gigs that I should be pitching. So when I click on podcast, even though we got 3.5 million podcasts, you can see it's automatically suggested me podcasts around public speaking. Does that make sense? So if I wanted to reach out to one of these podcasts, let's say this one in St. Louis, I can add it to a list and click pitch. And in about 10 seconds, the system is going to look at that podcast, look at my bio, and actually write the email for me. So, Adoranka, if you had one of our members on your show, this is how they got booked. So you're proof that it works, right? Because they wouldn't have been on your podcast if they didn't use this system, right? So this is what we do at Speaker Hub. Does the same thing for speaking, for association gigs, for media outlets, and for conferences. So when we were talking about writing for magazines, they're pitching Business Insider from here, right? They're just reaching out to the editors that we give them right here. Got it? You can track everything from inside. We even help you to build out your frameworks. If you don't have particular frameworks built around your topic, we help you to build those out too. So this is what our lifetime members are using in order to get booked with Speaker Hub. All right. Melissa, good to see you. We ain't seen Melissa in about 2 weeks. She's been on the leaderboard, but we ain't seen her. Melissa, good to see you. Leroy, good to see you again. Also, who else snuck in here? Cardis came in with his polo shirt on over there. Good to see everybody. All right, let me get into the topic for the day. Anything in the chat I missed? Melissa, what's going on?
Hey, Ron, I wanted to pop in and say hi. I know it's been a really long time. I had some news I wanted to share. I got booked. I got booked for a couple of pro bono gigs, so that's nice, whatever. $300 gig, okay, whatever. And then I got booked for a nice, tidy little $5,000 conference gig in Alaska. And it's all thanks to Speaker Hub. So yay. That was awesome.
Incredible. That's a big
Yeah.
deal. Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing. While you were gone, we started down this new path that I think will help you feel a lot better about those pro bono gigs. Why? Because we've been focusing on how do you show up. If you can remove the fee barrier, you can get more gigs, but you get your clients out of the audience, right? When we think about the people that we've helped the most, it's been those who have mastered or is willing to learn selling from the stage to get clients. So we're glad that you're getting the gigs where they pay up front, but I got some tricks in my pocket that I pulled out to show you how you can, when you show up to speak for free, that doesn't mean you're not getting paid. I'll show you how to grab clients out of the audience for whatever consulting or whatever other business you may be wanting to build. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And the pro bono gigs are for audiences that have, my ideal clients in the room. So
yeah. Grab a time with me privately and I'll go over those things since
Okay.
those gigs will be coming up. And I've already covered them on the call, so I won't go back through it. But privately, I'll walk you through like how to make that a home run.
Okay,
Cool.
awesome. Remind me how to get a call with you. I can't remember.
Yep. Andrew, give you a link to my calendar. She'll
Perfect.
put it in the chat. And yeah, no, high five, dude. That is That is super duper duper a big deal. Like, yeah, I like that. I like $5,000 ain't a little bit of money. I don't know what y'all look. Let me tell you, if you get paid $5,000 per gig, you're in the top 20% of all speakers. Do you know that? Most people don't know that. But let me show the data real quick because they be thinking I'm playing. Let me bring up my data from our surveys. And if you are getting, right, let me bring up all of them. So we've been surveying speakers every day since December. And this is what the average fee range is, right? 50% of speakers are getting paid under $1,000 per gig. 80% of speakers are under $4,000, 999. We specifically put the 5,000 in a different category so that they didn't get lumped in with those other folks. So 80% of the industry is not getting paid more than $3,500 most of the time, because nobody's saying 4,500. People go 2,000, 3,500, 5,000, 7,500, 10,000. That's kind of the speaker cadence in how we do fees. So, Melissa, that gig puts you in the top 20%. That's a top 20% paying gig. So be proud of it. I don't know how you feel, but I would. That's not a bad thing compared to what everybody else is getting paid. I know on Instagram they make it seem like everybody's getting $9,000 per gig. I was on with Vernice or more earlier this morning, and she was like, "No, this is right." And I said, "Vernice, we've done the survey." She's like, "No, I see it." Now, Vernice is a top 1/10% speaker who's getting $50,000 per gig, but she's been at it for 19 years. And she came on and she talked about how she started off at $2,000 and then inched it up and inched it up and inched it up, right? So it's just a process, guys. But high five, Melissa, on getting a top 20% fee. And hopefully you can get more, but we'll show you how to get more from selling. Any other questions?
Thank you. I'll share. I just got a private message. Somebody asked what type of conference. So this is an HR conference, and they actually, I think I probably reached out to them on Speaker Hub, but they reached out to me and were super interested. So that was really great, really validating. And then also this week, I have used ChatGPT to help me determine what types of associations to reach out to. And I have this whole list of types of associations to reach out to, and that I've just been going through one by one by one by one. Like, these are the acronyms and this is the associations. And then for each of those acronyms, there's usually like, I don't know, 40 or 50 associations, because they're like every state, blah, 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 blah. And so I have my VA reach out to all of those various different associations, and most of them never get back to me. Some of them do. A lot of them are like, I have to report as invalid, whatever. And then occasionally they get back to me. The ones that do, usually they have no budget. Occasionally those that have no, and then I respond to them, and then some of them will hop on a call with me, and sometimes it's worth me, sometimes it works out. So like occasionally I get, like, I have 2 on the calendar that are pro bono, and I'm going to speak for them virtually. It's not worth it for me to hop on a plane to go speak virtually, to speak in person, because I don't have the funds to do that, but I can speak virtually for them, because it doesn't cost me a lot to speak virtually for these audiences, because there are people in these audiences that might then want to bring me in to speak for their company where they will pay me. And then one of these pro bono gigs, the first gig is pro bono, but when I was talking to her about the various different things that I could offer them, a couple of them were interesting to her. And she said, well, we don't have any budget right now, but after the fiscal year starts again for them, which is whatever it is, June or July or something, they will have budget for whatever the big events are that are coming up. And then they might be interested. She was going to talk to her, leadership team or whatever, and they might have budget to bring me back either for a panel or for a keynote or whatever. So the first thing I'm going to do for them is a virtual workshop. And then that may or may not happen, but then they might have budget to bring me back to do my keynote. So like I'm planting seeds right now, and then I'm doing a pro bono keynote, which it may be virtual or maybe in person, because this happens to be local for project management international locally. And then the same day, I'm going to be doing the same keynote virtually for the Chattanooga chapter. And they're paying me $300, so it's not very much, but it counts towards my certified speaking professional certification. Because because I have to give at least $250 for each gig in order to count towards my CSP, certified speaking professional designation. And all the people in that audience, the project management professionals, like they could potentially be interested in, wherever they work. It's that those are the people who might possibly be interested in hiring me. And then the HR professionals at the conference, I say like I'm a $10,000 to $15,000 speaker in my, that's what I like classify myself as. So that gave me a bargaining position for the conference when they said that they would pay me $5,000. I was like, oh, well, since you're only paying me a half to a third of my normal fee, could you chip in to pay my transportation? And they were willing to do that because they really wanted me. And they're also covering 2 nights of my hotel up in Alaska. So it's worth it to me, and I've always wanted to go to Alaska. So it's worth it for me to do this. Anyway, so this is like my approach is like, do the gigs. I can't afford, like I have a friend who has flown all over the country to do tons of free gigs and drove up a ton of credit card debt. Like I can't afford to do that, but I can be very strategic about doing pro bono gigs for the right audiences, not any audience, but for the right audiences of my ideal customer, my ideal client who's in the room, who might then want to hire me to, to go into their companies. So that's my thinking as I approach this.
I think you hit it on the head, and that's good perspective. And I'll share with you something just as a cautionary tale, as Melissa brought up, her friend that's flying around, right? So the 3 ways you get paid from a speaking gig is before, during, and after. If you're not getting paid before, you better figure out how to get paid during the event or after the event. Okay. Now, a lot of people will fly around, but they don't have a strategy on how to get paid during or after the event. So they end up putting themselves in a negative hole. That's not a lack of opportunity. That's a lack of skill. Let me say it again. You have to put the responsibility back on us as business owners, right? So we have to have the skill to get paid in different environments. Does that make sense? So that when we go and we take the virtual gig, I can show you a virtual gig I did with 20 people in the room, right? But I made $40,000 in selling my products and services because I was prepared to sell to that room. I knew it was virtual. I was prepared. I paid to fly up to Michigan to do a free gig at Michigan State University last March. I walked away with 38 clients from that, right? But I was prepared. I had counted how much it's going to cost me, how cold it's going to be. Do I need to buy a jacket? Because they know coats in Medellin, right? I calculated all of that, and I knew that if I go up there, I had better nail this thing because I need to make my money back, right? So what we want to make sure, and I think Melissa is doing it the proper way. She's being very diligent with her budgeting, but we also want to make sure that we're being diligent with our processes, knowing that if we accept a gig, that we know how we're going to monetize that gig. Let me give you a great example. How many of you all have ever taken a free trial of something? Right? We all have, right? How many of y'all ever taken a free sample at Costco or Sam's? We all have, right? So why do they give out the free trials? Because I go in there looking to buy tires and I walk out with 87 hot dogs. How the heck I end up with 87 hot dogs and 106 wontons? Because that lady had that plate with the free hot dog thing on it and the free pot stickers, and I walk out with a case of them. A lot of times as speakers, we got to understand that if we're going to give someone a free trial, we better know how to sell them the case of us down the road. Does that make sense? A lot of times I'm just doing a free trial. I'm going to give them a little taste of it. No, 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 no. You better have something on the backside. Is that fair? Right? So, Melissa, I'll walk you through how to do that to make sure that you're in the right position. But yeah, look, you got to give people the trial. I agree. I'm a firm believer. I believe in free speech, right? In one way, like, hey, you can say what you want to say, but I don't believe in speaking for free. You got to figure out, I'll show up for free, but I'm going to get paid. Got it? I want to beat that horse because it's really, really, really important that when you show up, you know how you're going to get that bread. All right. So I got 7 minutes before we hit our 12 o'clock mark, but we go into overtime. Today, overtime could be into 12:15 if my meeting doesn't show up. But I want to go into the topic really quickly. But high five, Melissa. Way to go. And it just took time. Melissa joined us in November over Thanksgiving. And she was a bit concerned at the beginning. She's like, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm like, Melissa, just keep going. Well, I'm using this. And we went through it. Remember we did the Chat GPT thing. How do you find the topics for and I'll share that prompt with everyone about how to use Chat GPT to find the right keywords. Actually, I don't have to. Let me tell you why I don't have to. Let me come off of here. Let me tell you why we don't have to share the prompt that Melissa's using. On Monday, the new release has that already built in. Right? So for the first time, the AI matching is separate for each different search. So the way that we tell you to search for podcast, it's not the same type of search because it can be topic-based, audience-based, name-based. So we built a separate system for searching with AI. And then Carlos built a new one for searching for associations and built a separate search algorithm for searching for conferences because they're different. Right now, we've been forcing them all into the same one. But now Carlos has taken that same thing I did with Melissa 4 months ago. I don't know if I still have it, but we did let's see, I think it's in here. We met privately and I walked her through how she can find the, here we go. I think it's right here. I can't find it. I don't see it in here. But we went through how you could search through and find the ones that work for certain associations. So Carlos has actually built that algorithm into the product. So we don't have to do that anymore, right? So on Monday, you will see more accurate searches for your associations and conferences starting on Monday. We tried to release it yesterday, but it broke. So we had to take it back and redo it. Santiago was like, hey, Rod, don't be upset. I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. So it'll be ready on Monday. It's going to be great. Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to keep up. Like we need to be, that is right, Erica. We don't want our competition to keep up either. Right. All right, let's go to Bonnie and then we'll get into the topic. My topic for the day is really quick. So go ahead, Bonnie.
My question's quick. Yesterday, something about universities came up and I missed a little bit of it. I know we can't get universities now yet, ever. Is that a possibility coming up that we could pitch to
Universities
colleges?
are in your private leads. You can use your private lead list to get universities.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Just like anybody who wants to do corporate, you can use your private leads to get corporate. Does that make sense? So if you have a particular group of people that are not in Speaker Hub, then we will give you that list privately. All right. So I want to go back to our conversation from yesterday, because after I went through that, and I rewatched the video with Dave Ramsey, And I was like, oh my God, like there are so many more gems that we didn't get a chance to cover yesterday. So yesterday we started on a case study of Dave Ramsey of how he started off in his car selling books. He was getting paid $250. So Melissa, you're on the right track. Dave Ramsey got paid less than you, right? And he sold books. He had other things to sell. And then he realized, look at this. He wrote a book and sold it out of the trunk of his car. He had just gone bankrupt from trying to flip real estate. And he started explaining to people how he got out of bankruptcy and paid off all the debt. And again, we talked about yesterday how your topic, usually you don't find your topic finds you. He was a real estate investor. He wasn't intending to show people how to get out of debt, but that just happened to be the message that resonated that people were willing to pay him to come talk about. So before he went full time, he spoke part-time first, and then he agreed, him and his wife, that she would keep working and he would do enough gigs in order to cover their income. So keep your day job until the side hustle is consistent. 80% of speakers, according to our data, are still speaking part-time, which is smart. Only 19% of them are speaking full-time, right? This is why we have this data, so we could show you data-driven decisions, right? So, I'll see you later, Jasmine. So we want to make sure that you're client-centered and not you-centered, because when the business gets tough, you're going to quit. But if you know it's a bigger mission and you're trying to use it to build a bigger business and do other things, it becomes a lot easier to stay in the business. But here's the cool thing, right? A lot of you all are building team members and you're trying to grow the business. Your team will be a reflection of you. You want your team members to be proud to work with you, right? But here's the cool thing. This thing only works if we can maintain hope. If you don't have a vision of where you're trying to go with your speaking business, it's easy to get distracted and say, okay, I'm gonna speak this week and then I'm gonna be a coach. Well, no, I want to trade in the business to do this. It's really hard. But you got to have a plan. That's what Kevin was talking about, journaling, things of that sort, right? But everything we do is we're motivational speakers. I've never heard of a demotivational speaker. Right? So we got to be sure that our message is filled with optimism, but not just our message to our clients, but our messages and our self-talk to ourselves. I'm so surprised at how many of us talk so poorly to ourselves, but we're expected to be able to give our audience hope. It's hard to transfer belief that you don't have. Is that fair? Like, it's hard to transfer that belief to other people if you're struggling with it. So be sure to reaffirm yourself and come to these meetings and let us clap for you, right? I don't know who else Melissa has shared those gigs with, but she damn sure can come here and get claps for it every week. Every time she gets booked, we're going to give her a high five and tell her to keep going. Why? Because it's a lonely business, guys. Business is lonely. So how do you overcome these things? How do you overcome the fatigue, the burnout, all of these things? If we're not finding something bigger than the money, right? The value that I deliver shouldn't be determined by an event planner's budget. My self-worth ain't determined by your budget. Let me say that again. Your self-worth isn't determined by the event planner's budget. Some of those gigs were pro bono. That don't mean that what Melissa's doing is worthless. Does this make sense? That don't mean it's worthless. It just means that the event planner don't have the money, but the value is still there. I need to change who's paying me. I'm going to get the audience to pay me because they're the ones who are going to benefit from it anyway. This is a 45-minute talk. It does not compare to if I spent 5 hours with them. Does that make sense? So the owner of the event doesn't have to be the payer. The payer and the beneficiary can be the same people. I can go give my free talk and let them pay me afterwards. Went to, we bought a speaking spot at National Speakers Association meeting in August, right? Because we sponsored the Les Brown Lifetime Achievement Award, guess who he wanted to talk to? The guy who sponsored it. Wait, you put this on? You were the sponsor? This you with this logo? I had no idea. I'd only owned the company for 6 weeks, but he thought I owned it forever. Man, I love Speaker Hub. I'm like, dude, thank you. He had no idea. I just bought it. But it's my brand. It's mine. Yep, we love it too, right? And then I explained to him the entire thing and what we were doing new. And he said, dude, you want to come talk to I got a group of about 40 speakers that are amazing. They need more gigs. Come talk to them. If you can help them, help them. Right? I'm on a flight and I get this text message from him saying, yo, can you hop on right now? I'm like, dude, the Wi-Fi in this airport is trash. I'm like, I'm in the lounge and it's trash. So I promise you, if we could do it, he says, I'll reschedule it for you for tomorrow, but be ready. Cool. That next
Stay
day I went to
ready. You don't have to get
exactly.
ready.
Like we got to practice. Every time I talk to somebody, I'm practicing. How many times y'all seen me go over that speaker flywheel? I can get in and out of that in my sleep. My daughter can teach you the flywheel. She done heard me talk about it so much while watching Dora. Right? It was a funny thing. Bart, I got to get Bart back on here. Bart did the intro of me one day, and it was exactly me. Like he said the exact same words that I let him do the intro. He was like, well, I'm Ron Story, welcome to Speaker Hub. It was so funny, right? But that's how good we have to be. That's how ready we have to be. I ended up doing that meeting with Les, and we did $40,000 of sales in that meeting. But if I didn't go to Influence, I don't get that relationship. So you just never know who you're running into. One of the people who inspired Cardis, who was on the call, was Vernisa Moore. He heard her speak almost 20 years ago. I think it was 10 or 15 years ago. He was a high school student still playing football. And he saw her come on and he says, you're the reason I wanted to speak. I remember you speaking at this thing years ago, and you were the fly girl. That's all I remember. I didn't remember your name, but it's you. He's like, how would I know that we would be peers? We're both speakers now. You just never know who's in the audience, right? So again, let's not associate the value of what the event planner's budget with the value of your message, or at worst, your self-worth. I wish somebody would tell me I'm worth $200. No, I'll show up for $200, but I'm worth a lot more. I'll show up for free. I'll pay you. I will show up for negative. I'll pay you for the stage if it's in front of my right audience. Does that make sense? So I want to make sure that we're very clear on that, because sometimes arrogant speakers has used their speaking fee as a way to talk down to other speakers. Well, I'm this level speaker. Who cares? I got all the gigs. Now what? Right? Like, I'm this, nobody care about that. Nobody care what you charge. What's the impact you're having? Are you happy? Is your self-worth only tied to your speaking fee? If it is, you got bigger problems, baby. I don't think you should be motivating anybody. Go get some therapy. Right? Because we're bigger than our speaker fees. Does that make sense? Well, y'all know I'm telling the truth. Ain't nobody else willing to say it, because I don't care about them folks. I don't care about them. I want us to win, but in a mentally healthy way. Does that make sense? So, Melissa, be proud of that $300 and go in there and close another 20 grand. Right? Go in there and close another 50 grand. Because your message is needed. We got proof it's worth more than that. But we just got to show you how to squeeze that rock to get the juice out of it. Make sense? So anybody watching this, I'm not picking on Melissa, but
No,
there
I
were just
love
a
it.
lot of teaching points in there for everybody else who gets in this height measuring contest with other speakers. Right? I got to say height measuring contest for YouTube, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, sometimes you got to let a naysayer know.
That's right.
You know, so right. All right. So I wanted to cover that because that's where a lot of our burnout and fatigue comes. The average speaker only stays a speaker for 9 months because they give up and nobody's giving them the right frame on how to keep going forward. Right. So what did Dave Ramsey say? In the early stage, you should do what? Take what you can get. Why? Because you're getting better. As you get older and you get better, prune the clients and protect your energy. That's when you start raising your fees and doing different gigs that are most valuable to you. Does that make sense? Early stage, take what you can get. You need the experience. You need the exposure. But as you get better and you learn to sell and you learn to get better, prune those clients away. Right? But here's the cool thing. When you get in front of someone that can help you, approach with honor and curiosity. They've already done it. They can tell you all the potholes to avoid. Right? One of my favorite quotes is from this lady named Omarosa that was on the, what was the name of that show? The Apprentice. Right? And she said, sometimes the teacher, always the student. And I thought that was incredible. Right? Sometimes we're in the room with our peers, we feel like, oh, we're equal. No. Anybody wins, talk. I want to learn. I'm going to learn something that I can teach somebody else from Bonnie. I'm going to learn something from Larry that I can teach somebody else. Right? This, I ain't got it all together. No, what she said, there was another part. She says, never the know-it-all, sometimes the teacher, always the student. That's the 3 parts. Never the know-it-all. Sometimes I'm the teacher. I'm always the student. That is brilliant, right? So when we're around folks that can help us, soak it up. They're giving away the game, right? But we also can reverse this. When we're in front of the audience, understand that we can invite our audience to teach us. Don't be afraid of the constructive criticisms on how we can get better. Right? Be curious on what was missing in our talks, in our classes. You know, what are you willing to pay us for? Right? So I just thought this was interesting. It's, again, it was part of the case study from yesterday. I thought it was just great to kind of go through it. 2 more things I want to cover that I don't think that that is said enough, right? One of the things that he looked at was he had to always be willing to grow. They had to adapt, right? Speaking has changed. Now there's podcasting. If you're a speaker and you're not getting on podcast, you're missing it, right? You're missing out. Tony Robbins, the greatest speaker of all time, is doing podcasts. Les Brown, the greatest speaker of all time, is on YouTube. Mel Robbins, one of the greatest female speakers of all time, is doing a podcast. They're doing books. They're doing live events. If you're just saying, I'm just the keynote, cool, you're going to lose. Because I know that you're only going to get 30% of the revenue that my speakers are going to get. Because I know 70% of your revenue should come off the stage. Is this making sense? Now, here's one of the funniest things that I thought that he said. He said, does business ever get easier? What was his short answer? No. If you're growing, you're going to have constant discomfort and experimentation. That's what we're doing here, live in front of you guys. We're live right here showing you that we experimented with a new headline on the homepage. I change this thing every 3 weeks to see if conversions go up or down. I want to make sure we win it. But this speaks to my folks. Don't get paid to speak, speak to get paid.
I like that one. Keep it.
Right? This is what we're about. I'll show you the other 3. Let me bring up the other ones. Some of them got typos in it, so forgive my my inability to type. Some of them are
Consistent
terrible.
imperfection. That's all that matters. Keep
Yeah,
it
we
moving.
in constant beta, baby.
That's right.
We're in eternal beta over here. So don't get paid to speak, speak to get paid. Speak for free and make more. I believe that, right? Then I put speaker for free, which is stupid. Uh, built for speakers who sell and make more, right? But I'm leaning on this one. Don't get paid to speak, speak to get paid, right? Now you can, or maybe you should put don't just get paid to speak.
Yes,
Add a
I like
just,
it though. This is good. It hit me. It really, yeah. It's a good punchline.
right? I think the just kind of makes it where they can do both,
Yep.
right? Because we were kind of playing with that a little bit here with the make more on and off the stage, right? But I think don't just get paid.
I like that. Yep.
Yeah,
that
okay.
little. Yep.
Look, see, look at that. I'm open. Y'all got the ears. Y'all buying the stuff. I need to hear from my customers. Who cares what I think? Right? Because if it was up to me, it would say, F you, pay me. But I can't say that. I can't say that. That don't work.
Oh, I love the East St. Louis in you because Memphis can relate. Look.
That don't work for my Christian audience. That don't work. They don't want to hear that. You know, I'm like, hey, if Jesus died for our sins, he'll forgive me for cursing every once in a while.
Southern Baptist cussers and love the Lord.
Right? Yeah, I think I agree with you, Janika. That just adds a lot. It's just this is why we do this, right? We're gonna get better together, guys. Right? This isn't about me; it's about us. And I can't tell you to get better and to get started if I'm not willing to get better and get started when I'm imperfect, right? So we're gonna learn together. I appreciate all the feedback. I don't think my call is showing up. He may have canceled. Anything in the audience, I mean, in the chat box that I missed, Ange?
No,
There's
we were
nothing you
just
missed. We're all cheering on Melissa, supporting each other. No, lots of highlights and congratulatory talk in the chat. At least I didn't see any questions.
Look, I told y'all rocking with the best. Y'all rocking with the best. Y'all in the right place. We have an announcement we'll be making this weekend for our international clients that are looking for what you about to say, Edge?
I know. Well, I got an email yesterday
I
about.
thought she hit her toe or something.
I know. No,
You
I'm like,
hit
oh
your
my
toe on the
God, I have
furniture,
to tell them. I know. No, the Computer Science Institute sent us the email about an event in May, and they need speakers. And so for our lifetime members, we'll get an email sent out to you with the details and the contact information, but they have recurring events and they have something coming up in May. Got an email from them about the event. So be on the lookout for that. Let me email Juliana right now.
Yeah, I met with them yesterday also. So
you
yeah, I
did
knew
a
that was
computer.
coming.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you haven't done it, I tell anyone to do it. Like Ron said, while it doesn't pay, I'm telling you, if you needed a little boost of something, I was getting real-time feedback in LinkedIn after speaking there. The students, it just gives you a different perspective. I really enjoyed the time there. So if you haven't done it, I recommend doing it. And the last thing I was going to say, I know, Kevin, we were all talking in the chat, Angela and I, about your book. We got to get you more efficient. And what she mentioned, I'm telling you, even transcribing to yourself or whatever you're trying to say in voice memos and taking it over to AI will help you get that book written much faster than you trying to type and think all at the same time. Your brain will appreciate you in that way too, so you can get your book out. Just wanted to share.
So let me walk through this really quickly. Let me get on the right screen. I'll show you one of my processes. So I am like always into perfecting and getting better. And last week, I came on, I think it may have been Monday of this week, and I shared the script I was working on, right? And we went through that. I read through the script. Everybody gave me feedback, whether it should be longer, shorter, more personality, all of these different things, right? So I went in and I worked on it, right? And one of the things that I always do is I take my scripts and I put them in here and I make an update. I'm like, what's the thought on this update? And it says, okay, that's a good thing. Here's the breakdown. Here's the emotions that you added and what you took away. Does that make sense? So be willing to take your scripts and put them in. Does that make sense? Be willing to take your scripts and put those in to get feedback. Now, let me show you. Larry and I did this yesterday. I was showing this to Larry on our call, that you take the whole script. It's my entire script. And what you put at the top is, based on everything you know about Speaker Hub, rate my script as hard as you can on a scale of 100. Does that make sense? You can do this for chapters of a book.
Is there a word limit or character limit on that? How much you can
No,
put into it?
Yeah. So what you should do is do it chapter by chapter, right? Or take the entire document. Sometimes the word limit, they do give you a limit that you can paste in the prompt. But if you put it in a document, it'll let you upload any document of any size. So I have all these Word documents with each part of my webinars that I do. I write them in sections, and then I take them and I paste them in. Now, why is this important? Because you need the feedback about what's working well, right? Based on everything we know about, the script is outstanding. Cool, but it's only a 96. I don't like that. It gives me the feedback on what's working. What could I improve? Cool, I didn't like all of his suggestions. So I said, well, show me where you would make the changes first. So before it makes the change, it shows me where it would make the change. And then I can take that and say, okay, what do I need to do? Well, you need to build urgency. You need to do these things. Cool, that's great. Should this be introduced earlier? And here's why that matters right now, right? And I put the part in there that I thought should be moved up. And it was like, yeah, I think it's strong enough to move up earlier because it'll amplify this. So you can do the live editing. They have this new editor, like a Microsoft Word editor that's built in, that you could do the live editing and you ain't got to keep copying and pasting anymore. Does that make sense? If you pay for ChatGPT, you can also now connect directly to a Google Drive that has all your chapters in there. Does that make sense? So now you don't have to upload all the files. You can just connect that one folder with all of your data. So, I mean, dude, this is cheating 100%. So, Kevin, put it in there, get some feedback. I've rewritten this daggone thing, I don't know how many times. And I just now I think it's ready. I shared it with AJ yesterday. He told me I need to fix something on the end of it. So I'm working on the ending and the transition. So what you see here is me working on the transition, like, dude, this don't feel organized, right? And it said, you're absolutely right. The transition
I
doesn't
will
sound
try
right.
it.
Does that make sense?
I will try it. If I might have to watch the video of this all over again so I can absorb all of what y'all
Yeah.
said,
All you're
suggested.
gonna do, let me share your screen with me. Let's just do it now. My appointment didn't show up. Today's your lucky day. Let's do it right now.
Yeah.
We will learn and build together because everybody else needs to know how to do this.
What am I
All
doing
right,
wrong?
Ange, can you stop the recording for now, so that we don't get any of his personal information on YouTube? See you later, Larry. Good to see you. Come back, man. We'll see you on Monday.